Sylvester Stallone has had enough of the woke movement and political correctness in the film industry. A lot of social justice warriors are angry about Stallone taking such a conservative approach. Efforts even have been made to blacklist him. Things are getting fiery.
What's going on with this country in general nowadays? And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang, ba, bang, cool. You know what my pronoun is? Guess. Time's up.
Okay.
It, as in it, can't take this shit anymore.
This video will uncover how Sylvester Stallone is going against the woke movement in the film industry, and how Hollywood is coming after him for it.
No pressure here, right?
Sylvester Stallone is loved by everyone for his famous movies like Rocky and Rambo. However, he is at risk of being canceled for his strong stance against the woke culture in Hollywood. In Stallone's eyes, Hollywood was once a place of free speech, which was the reason why he loved the industry. Impactful stories could be told without restraint. He cherished the days when the film industry influenced not just American culture, but global audiences. However, he believes that Hollywood has changed. It no longer prioritizes raw, authentic storytelling. An ex-user spoke Stallone's words and posted, "It's time for Hollywood to take a good look at what it's become. We need reasonable people to step up and reject all the wokeness that's ruining our industry." Sylvester Stallone believes that the woke culture has dominated Hollywood, and it often comes at the cost of great storytelling. For him, the focus on political agendas and political correctness overshadows the entertainment factor that used to captivate audiences. And Stallone is done with this movement. He refuses to go along with this wokeness, and even undoubtedly refuses to work on films, and with people that support this woke insanity. It even have been said that Sylvester Stallone drops out of $1 billion project, with Robert De Niro saying, "I don't work with woke people." Even though these messages are perhaps rumors, his long-standing history of standing by his beliefs makes this claim believable. Stallone's recent series Tulsa King actually portrays the same stance on this woke movement. In one memorable scene, Stallone questions the use of pronouns.
Come on. And these pronouns. What the fuck is with the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang, ba, bang, cool.
Even though this is a character he plays, he still unquestionably stands behind the things he says. It even resonated with many viewers and, reportedly, reflects Stallone's frustrations with the direction of the industry.
You know what my pronoun is? Guess. Time's up.
Okay.
It, as in it, can't take this shit anymore.
Another tweet stated that Stallone also don't want to have anything to do on his set about this woke stuff, of which Scarlett Johansson reacted to the Tulsa clip and posted, "I won't have a bunch of granola moms and their soy boy husbands telling me what I can and can't do on my set with my crew. The wokeness can get lost. We don't need it." Stallone's outspoken opinions haven't come without consequence. Many in Hollywood, particularly those who embrace woke culture, have expressed their discontent. Reports suggest that his controversial stance has even led to fewer opportunities. Allegations have been made that Stallone showed toxic behavior on set of Tulsa King. He was accused of calling background actors fat and ugly, and he was making fun of their handicaps and weight. He asked for young pretty girls. Someone apparently even heard Stallone saying, "What the is up with these ugly background actors?" This behavior and environment he created made people feel uncomfortable and unwilling to work with Stallone. It caused actors and even the casting agency to resign from the series, as they did not accept this disrespectful behavior. Doesn't it seem strange that this famous actor, who has been for years in the industry, suddenly starts saying these comments, while people who have worked with him have said nothing but positive things about Stallone? Also, his interviews show that he hardly uses abusive language and always remains respectful and polite. Craig Zisk, the director of Tulsa King, denied all the accusations against Sylvester Stallone on set of Tulsa King in an interview with TMZ. Craig noted that the casting agency instead improperly casted the background actors, but Sylvester instead eventually opted to keep the actors as extras. Craig mentioned that the comments made about wanting to have young pretty girls on set did not happen, which also doesn't make sense. Not only because it's disrespectful and not in brand with what we know about Sylvester, but also because Jennifer, his wife, is usually on set with him helping out. And he has the most respectful attitude towards his wife and 3 daughters, which are the world to him.
And as I look over the eternal city, I have eternal love for you.
Oh, thank you, my love.
I'll never forget
Thank
that.
you. Oh my God.
Bravo.
So why would Stallone make such comments? After Craig Zisk discredited the accusations, the casting agency was left speechless, as they did not want to provide any further comments. This all seems like an act to take down the show because of its controversial nature that does not align with the woke movement and political correctness of today's society. But Stallone, ever the fighter, remains undeterred and still focuses on promoting the series. Stallone is well aware that Hollywood is a tough place for conservatives and that only few actors are willing to express views that conflict with the dominant ideology. Yet Stallone always has been a man of principle and is not afraid to voice his opinions, even if it means facing backlash. Matt Smith, an English actor, also took the bold step to agree with Stallone and mentioned, "Everything's being dialed and dumbed down by trigger warnings. Isn't being shocked, surprised, stirred the point? Too much policing of stories and being afraid to bring them out because a climate is a certain way is a shame." Nowadays, Stallone feels one of the dying breed because he comes from a time where masculinity was portrayed differently in society. In his prime, action heroes like himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mel Gibson were the symbol of strength and toughness, with muscles bigger than a beach ball. Arnold Schwarzenegger was someone he respected because of that.
No, I really respect this guy. I think he's brilliant. What he's done, what he's accomplished, he's had 3 different careers.
Today's heroes are more sensitive, intellectual, and more in touch with their feminine side, like Timothée Chalamet. Not to say that there is anything wrong with that, but Stallone believes that this redefinition of masculinity is part of the broader woke shift that suppresses traditional views. For Stallone, authenticity is paramount, and in his view, Hollywood is losing that. This is problematic for the veteran actor, as the Hollywood that once inspired Sylvester and many others is changing.
Grabbing life by the seat of the pants, going with your gut instinct is over. For example, when Rocky would never be made today. This never would have happened. It's over. Majority. The Godfather wouldn't be made today.
Stallone argues that the current woke movement comes at the cost of the story's integrity, and it takes away the fundamental purpose of movies.
I don't think it's going to ever have the golden era that it's had by far, because the audience, the demographic is different.
It's sad to hear, as even in Stallone's younger years, he had the dream of creating impactful movies that would change the Hollywood industry into a golden era, in which he definitely succeeded with his amazing movies. An interviewer once asked Stallone's reason to write the movie Rocky, on which he answered,
"I wanted to get back into the cycle of the films of the 40s and the 50s, where people say, hey, gee, I missed the good old films, yet Hollywood hasn't taken heed and hasn't made any good old-fashioned type films where morality was at the forefront."
At this point, Stallone is just tired of walking on eggshells and having to adjust to the insanity of woke culture. He is tired of getting accused of things, being backstabbed, the misinformation that's being spread, and him being canceled. This is one of the reasons why Stallone and his wife announced their move from Hollywood to Florida, moving away from the state's and industry's cultural climate.
After long, hard consideration, your mother and I have decided it's time to move on and leave the state of California permanently, and we're going to go to Florida. We're going to sell this house.
What?
It is not because Sylvester is a far-right leaning individual or Republican, but neither is he a lover of the lefties and their ideology. He tries to distance himself from politics because he's not for either side.
It comes out sometimes that way, but I am not a political creature, never have been. I think may the best person win. That's the way I roll with it.
Despite his neutral stance in politics, he does notice that a lot of things are not going the right way. He's one of the few people in the industry that did express his opinion about the insanity of woke culture, and he honored his right of free speech to address this opinion and defend himself of the accusations. However, he was met with huge backlash from the woke people. What do you think? Do we need more people like Stallone who stand up for the changing society that harms the traditional values and norms? Let us know in the comments below and make your opinion feel heard. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more.